There we go. Okay, there we go. Let me start my Instagram. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a good night tonight. So, welcome to the Renee Adams Show, first and foremost, and Empowerment Week. Please do not forget to like, share, and comment on this broadcast. And also, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, please inbox me. Let's have a conversation about you being on the show. All right. So today, my guest, I'm super excited for her. My guest today is the winner of Essence Pinesol Build Your Legacy contest. She submitted her video talking about her plans to revitalize and restore the economic stability, holistic health, and the social needs, and the social needs of residents of Ward 7 by developing sustainable commerce within the community. Today, I have my guest and grand prize winner, Miss Mary Blackford. Yay! Yes.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. She won the grand prize and in the business aforementioned in this show. So please congratulate her, leave comments, give her shout outs and everything because she deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. You are so welcome. Oh my God. When I saw her video, it was before she even won. I was like, I like her and what she is standing for. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. So let's start out by you telling us about how you feel about your winnings of being the grand prize winner.
It really feels amazing. I am so grateful for the blessing that has been the Essence and Pinesol Build Your Legacy Grant Competition. We were selected out of a nationwide search, and so to have so many people vote for us around the country to see our story, we were featured in a blog by Soul Foodie, which is a online website and blog site, and they have a Twitter page where they promote a number of different Black-owned food and restaurant ventures. They did a story on us, and it got over 30,000 retweets, and so it was viral.
Yes.
To see people like our mayor support us. We have people from just all walks of life reaching out and saying, we voted for you, we support you, and we're sharing it with everyone we know. And so it's just been such a blessing to see how many people want this for the community, want to see it, even if they're not here, to see the support that comes out of us just doing really good work and trying to make a sustainable change for our community. So we feel so blessed at Team Market 7 to have won the big prize and supporting Market 7 in any sort of way. You're not just supporting one business, but Market 7 is made up of 60 Black-owned businesses that have been doing alternative pop-up markets in our community over the past 3 years. And so investing in us, you're really investing in a village. And so we are just so blessed that our village got a blessing at this time.
Absolutely. Congratulations. I've heard, from your source that it's been hectic because a lot of people are responding to you and want to be a part of this, which is amazing. But I want you to go into just telling people a little bit more about Ward 7 and what this project entails.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about the Market 7 story. So I'm from Ward 7.
Oh, okay, Ward 7 and Market 7, two different things.
Yes, Ward 7 is a community. Some people, we're a district ourselves, but some cities cut themselves out into different district, wards. And so Ward is just like a section of DC, and we are Ward 7.
Okay.
And in communities in Ward 7, we suffer quite a bit from food deserts, or what now is being coined as food apartheid. Food apartheid really kind of explain the long history of discriminatory practices against communities of color, particularly Black communities, that have been cut out from economic opportunities that makes it less viable for us to attract big box retail and other economic things in our community that would help us be more sustainable.
Yes.
Due to things like racism, to be quite honest. And so we are one of those sort of communities. Our community is over 90% African American, has been for quite a long time. And when I moved back home from college, I became a vegetarian. And that really was what sparked this kind of need to go out and find fresh, healthy, sustainable foods. But I was finding in my community I couldn't shop there because it didn't exist. And so I found myself going from one side of the city to the other just to access uh, fresh food and better grocery stores, because we only have 3 grocery stores east of the river in communities that are in Ward 7 and 8, which are basically sister wards, very similar makeup. And I thought, is everyone having this problem? Is everybody having to leave?
Right? Exactly.
And I'm paying $8 to $10 each way in a lift, so $20 round trip to go to a grocery store, and that I go to the grocery store once a week, so it tacks on to your grocery bill. At the end.
Absolutely, right? You have to.
So is everybody going through this? And I found that a lot of people were struggling, and I just started to advocate and ask questions. How can we get a better grocery store, another grocery store, another sort of grocery store in our community? And what a lot of community advocates and officials that work within community were telling me is like, Mary, the area median income, which is a metric that they use to place retail in community, it's far too low to attract the sort of retail that you are wanting. And the only way to kind of resolve that is to raise a tax basis, which would essentially just gentrify the community.
Oh, okay. So you were getting educated at the same time, but you was like, with something that we can do about this, we're still going to figure it out.
Yeah, because the only thing that we have been doing for a long time is just waiting for some big box retailer to come save us all, but that was never really going to happen given the current AMI. And so I said, well, there has to be another way. We can't go without, or we all move out of here. Like, that can't be the only 2 options. And I thought back to my time when I was in Ghana. I did a teaching program in a college where I went to Ghana and I taught entrepreneurship to high school students. And I remember in the community that I was teaching it, they had these centralized marketplaces. And entrepreneurs from all around the community, they would come together and sell food and textiles and things for your hair, skin, and nails, all in these centralized markets. And I said, you know what, we could do something very similar here. And I was very inspired by that active cooperative economics in a community that didn't have a lot of money and things like that, but they had autonomy in their community through these centralized marketplaces. So I had seen a model where you don't have to be rich to have a market. You don't have to be rich to have access to food.
That's right. No, you bring up a good point. That's why when I saw you and what you were talking about, this is so important. And a lot of people are aware of the fact that most of these grocery stores are placed strategically. And it's not the health food stores that's placed in the low, economic areas, whereas, they're mostly like socioeconomic, like low socioeconomic issues going on, that they don't place them there. And it's just like when you think about wine and liquor store, you got one on when you're thinking about those areas, you're thinking about liquor stores on each corner, but they don't have the holistic and like a Whole Foods or a healthy food store that people can go to, especially if they're changing their diet over to vegetarian, which most of us need to be thinking about, especially with the health concerns of diabetes and all the heart disease, everything else.
Yeah, and that's what we found with a lot of. We did a consumer survey in our community, and we found that a lot of the ideas around AMI, we had to dispel them because people don't drill down far enough into the community and into those numbers. Of the people that we surveyed, 67% of those people were going into other wards or other sides of the city to get their food. 24% were going into Maryland to get some or all of their grocery needs of the people that we surveyed. And so we saw very quickly that like people will travel to get the food, and clearly they have the money to do so. So this idea that AMI is just such a determinant in how much you're actually spending on food is kind of not true. And then we also found that 90% of people in our ward want more fresh food and fresh veggies in our community, because there's also this idea that people whose AMI aren't very high, all they want is fast food. And that's not true either.
That's not true. No.
The other misnomer is that all they can afford is fast food. So someone told me that I talked to is like, people who live on this side of the city, all they can afford is to spend about $10 a day, and that equates to fast food. That's not true.
Oh, no. That's a terrible thing to put into your mind and believe. That, to actually think that that's really true. Because that's what, a lot of people want you to think.
Yeah, and even if that were true, for $10 a day, you can get a healthy meal.
You sure can. I mean, I can think of a lot of things too. You can, if you really don't have the money, you can go and get beans that will last you, for a long time.
Yeah, you can make all
There's
types
so
of
many things. I mean, you can go ahead and name them too. I mean, but I
business.
already know for $10.
Yeah, we work with a urban farmer, a young lady named Jennifer Lumpkin, and she would bring these stews to our market to let people try the different stews that you can make with vegetables, all under $10, and you can feed a family of four with a big pot of stew that you can make right at home. And so this idea that like you just can't eat sustainably or healthy for a lower cost is just all not true. And so part of our work has been dispelling a lot of those myths in our community and really proving the worthiness of our community, which can be discouraging, but I feel quite empowered to do it because I think we deserve a grocery store and more markets.
So your business beforehand was Market 7. Tell us a little bit more about Market 7.
Yeah, Market 7 is still the business. So Market 7 is a community marketplace that we have developed in Ward 7 for the purpose of alleviating food and retail deserts. And we started again because I became vegetarian and really wanted another option. And so we decided to develop alternative pop-up markets where I work with urban farmers and the small business community, people who are selling things for your hair, skin, and nails, who are selling home essentials. And I brought them all together and said, let's make our own markets. And so we would just pop up. We started really humble. Like we would pop up in parking lots and community centers and things like that. Really, really humble.
Good for you.
And even in our current space where we're going to be, we have a 7,000 square foot food hall coming. We popped up there on that lot. And before right now we're in construction. So it's just like a dirt pile and lots of like tractors.
That is so awesome.
But before that, it was like a dump. It was an old dilapidated building, moldy. People were throwing trash over there. People were dumping illegal car parts over there. It was rough. And when I met my developer about a year and a half ago, I was just looking for space to do another pop-up. And he was like, Mary, you could use this spot. It's really rough. I'm just going to let you know it's really rough. And I was like, I don't care what condition.
Yeah, that's how people
take it. And I'm going to turn it into something.
Passionate.
Yeah. And so I went out and it was rough. He was not lying. The building was falling apart. The building was falling apart. But I went out there with a group of volunteers, a group of my friends, and we painted over that nasty building. We built a wall in front of the building just to hide it so that people wouldn't see how nasty it was. And we put a mural out front just to make it beautiful. We got up all the trash in the car parts and we popped up and we had a fall market there for several weeks. And we bought fresh food and all types of vendors and food vendors and lifestyle vendors there. And it was great.
So the response you've been getting it's been phenomenal. So really with the with this project, what you're trying to do is expand on that. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the dream has always been to have a permanent home and to have an official marketplace. And so we have worked with our developer who bought the property. He is developing, the building is 14,000 square foot. It's 2 floors, and we'll have the space at the bottom where we'll be doing a food hall. And the food hall is a first of its kind on our side of the city, and kind of the first of its kind in the city, in that we'll have a plethora of different food options that represents food and culinary favorites from across the diaspora, Africa, the Caribbean.
Oh my goodness.
And we'll have a small community grocer as well where you can get grocery needs as well. So I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be so exciting to have new Black businesses in our ward.
Yeah.
We are definitely doubling the amount of food access points that we have in our ward with the inception of this new market. And so I'm just excited to do this with a group of Black businesses that are really trying to fight for systemic change.
Absolutely. And I hope that is a start to be able to have these in more areas than one. I mean, that's something actually I was going to ask you, because that was one of the questions, but I wanted to ask you first, like, how do you feel this will open up the future opportunities for you?
Yeah, so I want to make sure that our work continues to spread. And I'm so interested in working with people who are interested in also growing the Black business ecosystem, the ecosystem of food east of the river. And so I'm hoping that it just brings more attention to the entrepreneurs who are actually involved. Again, we have 60 under our umbrella that we work with, and even more to come. We we are not giving up on pop-ups. We'll have summer pop-ups on the outside of our building as well in the summer times, like farmers market style. And so we just have so many businesses coming and reaching out all the time. And what I want to do is make sure that we build a strong ecosystem of support. Right now, we have a partnership with Google. Google is providing training for Market 7.
Oh my God.
Our entrepreneurs.
Wow.
They're providing training for our entrepreneurs on Google products that help to enhance their businesses from an online perspective. And so we've done 2 of those trainings in the first half of the year, and we have some more coming towards the second half of the year as well. And so we want to continue partnerships like that. We've worked with Global Empowerment Solutions to do business plan training, and we want to continue to offer these sort of
absolutely everything. Yes, that's everything. That's the only way that we're going to be able to grow and have the knowledge that we need in order to have those sustainable businesses as you're looking forward to having for a long time. So to educate and have a company like that to come in and really hit the ground running with the educational resources is amazing. And also I wanted to ask you, so would you like to stay in Washington with this initiative, or are your plans to take this to other parts of the world as well?
Yeah, so my lot in life has always been to help Black businesses grow, to kind of service communities. I went to college for entrepreneurial studies at Babson College. So I started my first business at 16 and fell in love and felt like, our whole community should be doing this. This is it. This is the key. Ownership is so key to, I think, our success and our progress, and ultimately our liberation as a community. And so I would love to see this model be in other markets. I would love to see it. And I know
good start.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping that this can be a blueprint for many markets to come.
Me too. I hope so too. And I am so happy for you. I bet your celebration had to be so huge.
COVID. Listen, because I would have
that held you back, right?
But COVID has humbled us all in terms of
right. That is true.
Celebration. But let me tell you something. Our opening day party will be the celebration of it all next year. We are slated to open 2021, and so that will be the biggest party of my life. I promise.
Wow, I love it.
I hope you can come down to DC.
I want to. I hope I can. I would love to be a part of that. That would be so awesome. Yeah.
So that is going to be the celebration. Right now, we're all hoping, but that would be the celebration.
I love it. I love it. So one of the questions, Damian Cooper, thanks for leaving your comment, your question. He just wanted us to drop a link in the comments so they can support you on your endeavor.
So our fundraising is not done. This is a very simple project, folks. This is millions of dollars in the making now. So we will have more information coming about how to support if you want to donate or support in that way. Also, we're always looking for volunteers, both digital volunteers and volunteers if you're in the DC area. We're trying to build a street team because we're going to have to we're going to have to let people know that we're coming. So once the market opens, we got to promote to get the bodies in the market. And so please reach out to me if you're interested in getting involved. Info at market7dc.com. And then if you just want updates on what's going on with Market 7, the best way is to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at market7dc. Again, that's at market7dc on Twitter and Instagram.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and just sharing that information and your plans to revitalize and, just helping Black entrepreneurs just get into it, and also just helping them build that knowledge that they need to, again, be sustainable with their business and what they're planning on doing too. I think just with this itself is going to help the economy. And I think it's just inspiring, just so people, they realize and they are aware that those kind of grocery stores can be in their area too. It just takes a little passion and being a little humble sometimes to make that happen. So you're definitely an example of that. I appreciate it, Mary, for you being on the show.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. And we must keep in touch because I want to keep you involved with everything that's happening.
Oh, yeah, I would appreciate that. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Big news that just came out today.
Oh,
So we've teamed with Whole Foods also to get, because one thing that we always try to work with small business, and again, our work sits at the intersection of sustainable health and sustainable economics, making sure that Black businesses have opportunities to access market. And so as communities change, and a lot of communities are changing right now, I always want to make sure that Black businesses are represented in the retail that comes to cities. And so we've teamed with Whole Foods to get 4 Black-owned brands in Whole Foods in Washington, D.C. And so if you are in the D.C. area.
oh my God. How did that happen?
Oh, my.
Did they see that you won and reached out to you? How did that work out?
I met someone at Whole Foods at a conference, and in true Mary fashion, coming up with a pitch in 5 seconds, went up to said executive from Whole Foods and said, I think it would be great if we could do something in Whole Foods. I have 60 Black businesses, and it would be great to do something there. And at first, we were going to do something like a pop-up, but we learned that we needed to be in Whole Foods. And I said, yeah, we should be in Whole Foods. So we went through the process, and we had a pitch day, and the teams were picked by the Whole Foods buyers team to actually be in the stores. And so we are just so blessed that they were wanting to teaming with us, and it's a team effort with Whole Foods to get these businesses in, and just trying to open up more economic opportunities for Black businesses to be on shelves. Because my philosophy is that Black businesses should be accessed every day, and we should have Black business products in our homes in every single room, every single cupboard, and more opportunities to do that and engage, and making sure that Black businesses have shelf space in every store is very important to me as well.
That is so amazing. Yes, I totally agree with you. Again, thank you so much for being on the show.
No problem. Thank you.
And I just want to leave off by saying anyone that wants to be on the Renee Adams Show, you have a product or service that you would like to promote, you can definitely inbox me. I know I mentioned this at the top of the hour, but we're going to mention it again. And please follow Mary Blackford and her initiatives and what she's doing. And please follow the Renee Adams Show. We need your support. A lot of inspirational stories, and I just want you to hear some of their stories and what they're doing in each of our communities. It's a beautiful thing. So have a good night. And I will see you guys actually tomorrow and Saturday. So thank you again, Mary.
No problem. And thank you for having me. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yes. Bye.